Previously on the Tour de Timor.
Great day, best day yet, haven't fallen off.
Don't think I'll get down the hill.
We thought the best place today would be on the first hill.
We didn't really have much of a plan today.
Don't wanna be happy.
Another day begins as the Tour de Timor is on its penultimate stage of an incredible race that has captured the hearts of a nation and its people. Com is situated on the northeast coastline of Timor-Leste and is considered one of the most popular destinations within the country. It is also hosting the biggest mountain bike race ever organised in the region and welcomes almost 1,000 people waking up to the sounds of the ocean and the scenic landscape that is in abundance in this country. The breakfast team has already been up since the wee hours of the morning, preparing for the hungry mouths that are eager to start another fantastic day out to a different location. For the early risers, each bit of preparation is crucial for the race ahead. And that includes Julio da Costa, who has so far completed every stage despite his obvious disabilities. Some riders are preparing in their own way, whilst others are packing their gear into the forward trucks. However, as the morning continues, there is an air of apprehension as the day is interrupted with rumours of a delay in the race. And as with rumours, it has begun to spread like wildfire.
There's a bit of a delay by the sounds of things. Vehicle that's gone ahead in the Ford convoy is rolled or something like that on the road there, so we're waiting to get that cleaned up, I think.
So we're here, the start of stage 5 has been delayed. The information that we have so far, according to Mark, the race director, is that one of the ISF Army vehicles rolled about 70k up the road just west of Bacau, and apparently the driver's been critically injured. So what we heard is that they're airlifting him out of there, and the race will be delayed here about 30 minutes, so hopefully it's all right. And that's all we know right now.
Up ahead, the front convoy of cars is steadily making their way towards the finish line in Manatutu. Although the road to Manatutu is very much smoother than the past 4 stages, it is by no means an easy stage. But then again, the view is breathtaking from all angles, and the seaside road will be a welcome distraction for the riders during the race. The smaller towns are already packed with people waiting for the race to pass through, and the enthusiasm is contagious as the cars make their way through to Manatutu. It is scenes like these that make the Tour de Timor such a successful event, because it draws the people together and gives them much hope and peace for the future. Back at the starting line, however, the riders have grown restless, and as the organisers discuss the setback, the riders are beginning to feel slightly agitated.
No, well, it's a long day. We've got to get going. I just want to go. It's 142 k's. It's a long day. So the more we wait, the more time it's going to take to get there.
Yet for some, every moment is an adventure.
Banyak pengalaman pertandingan dan banyak deh gitu.
But the news is finally broken as Michael Stone, the general manager of the Tour de Timor, makes the announcement.
We have one very serious casualty and another serious casualty
Currently there's a helicopter being mobilised, and within the next 15 minutes we'll conduct an aeromedical evacuation of those casualties back to Dili. So please everyone say a prayer for those guys, and at the moment obviously this is absolutely the priority to evacuate those casualties and give them the safest and quickest passage back to Dili to safe medical attention. At the moment we will be waiting here until that AME has taken place, which will be at least 20 minutes. So please rest up, get in the shade, and say a prayer for these guys. The location will be sanitised, or basically squared away for an investigation of the vehicle accident. So a detour will be made around that site, which we'll be riding past later on today. So we'll give you an update as soon as we've got one. Thank you.
The mood has become somber, but the race must go on. At the other end, there is a contrasting mood as the front convoy reaches the finish line and a large crowd has gathered in town in a carnival-like atmosphere. The whole of Mana Tutu is out in force and they are eagerly awaiting the arrival of the riders. In Com, the wait is almost over as Mark Lorenz, the race director, makes his announcement for the race to commence. The penultimate stage of the Tour de Timor is by far the longest stage ever, with 145.4 kilometers of mostly bitumen roads and 2 King of the Mountain stages. The riders will pass through the town of Baukau, one of the popular towns outside of the capital Dili. The starting line has become a traffic of bicycles as the top riders tussle for a good position at the head. As Mark looks at his watch, they are quietly preparing for the physical and mentally exhausting journey ahead. The countdown begins.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And the long train of riders begin the longest stage of the Tour de Timor. In spite of the length of the race, it is thought that it will be fast, mostly with flat terrain to contend with. Yet, as the participants wind their way through the early stages, there are already early casualties on the road. The mood amongst the riders, however, has brightened up considerably in spite of the initial news prior to the race. The journey takes them through amazing scenery, most of which sees them enjoying a beautiful beachside and ocean views that the slower riders will appreciate. At the very back, the rear convoy has begun its slow journey to Mana Tutu, picking up the pieces along the way. But the riders are still in good spirits as they navigate their way through the dry yet scenic route. It is reflected in none other than Julio da Costa, who's making it look easy, and with over 100 kilometers to go, he is the ever-willing competitor as he strives to keep up with his fellow participants. At the front, a lead group of elite riders have opened up a considerable gap between themselves and the rest, hitting speeds that are normally known for normal road races. But with the terrain so flat, the riding is easygoing compared to the stages prior to this, yet there were still 1 or 2 breakdowns along the way.
Yeah, just a puncher.
The leaders have already reached the first water station and the usual mad scramble for liquids ensue, but the pace is about to heat up as they near the town of Baukau, the unofficial halfway stage of the day's race. Meanwhile, the rest of the peloton has broken up in smaller groups and many are enjoying the beautiful surroundings along the way. And with most being first-time visitors to Timor-Leste, they are in awe of what the country has to offer. One lone rider, the current female lead Peter Mullins, has suffered an earlier setback with a puncture and is desperately trying to make up for lost time. The town of Baucau has plenty to be proud about. It hosted the inaugural stage of the Tour de Timor and is excited to see the race pass through their location once again. The large crowd has gathered to cheer on the riders as they weave through the narrow streets, and there is also a festive atmosphere in the crowd. Meanwhile, at the front, a few elite riders have decided to take matters into their own hands as Ashley Hyatt of Australia decides to attack and breaks away from the front group. Ahmad Fauzan Lutfi of Malaysia and Stage 4 winner Ben Mather crashes the party as the three riders set a punishing pace up front with less than half the stage to go. 3 soon become 4 as Matt King from Australia joins the front breakaway group. Further back, it is another setback for Peter Mullins as she punctures again at the water station outside of Baucau.
Wow, that's a bad one.
2 punctures. It's 2 over. Nobody has a spare tube.
No, I got 29.
Everybody's got 29.
Fortunately, several kind Samaritans comes to her aid to the delight of the young Australian rider, and her race will continue. After plenty of help, she's off to catch up with the rest of the riders and desperate to hang on to her lead classification time, which has now been cut drastically due to a puncture. Meanwhile, the rest of the competitors are soaking in the atmosphere, and the ride has become a sightseeing adventure for them as they wheel their way through scenic paddy fields in the scorching sun. Some inhabitants are, however, oblivious to the fanfare around them. On a solo run, Julio da Costa keeps himself in frame for another unbelievable finish and is determined to make that happen. Despite riding alone, he sets his sights on the main objective, and it is obvious that the local crowd are a source of motivation for the local hero. At the front, the 4 lead riders have opened a considerable gap between themselves and the others. But as they reach the second King of the Mountain stage, Fauzan attacks, leaving the 3 other riders completely by surprise. Tinker Juarez amongst the chasing pack is looking to close the gap, but is unaware of the battle up ahead. With only about 20 kilometers to go, the 3 chasing riders are trying to catch up with Fauzan. But Fauzan is a seasoned national road cyclist, and despite only taking up mountain biking 3 months prior, he is in his element on the flat surface. So much so that the Malaysian rider opens up a gap of more than a minute in front. Sure enough, as he enters the town of Manatutu, Fauzan laps up the attention as he realizes that the stage win is his and cherishes every moment, crossing the finish line in 4 hours, 11 minutes and 23 seconds. It is also the first win for any Malaysian in the Tour de Timor's history.
Kaki hari ni saya tengok sedap, boleh lah tahan tekanan. Lepas tu masa first KOM tu dia orang dah shooting main kat bukit tu, saya ikut je lah. Lepas tu saya breakaway dengan lagi 4 orang tu kat atas bukit tu. Lepas tu second KOM tu saya breakaway seorang-seorang sampai finishing.
Coming in at 4 hours, 12 minutes and 47 seconds was Matt King, with Ashley Hyatt in a close third, 3 seconds behind him. Matt was clearly impressed with Fauzan's win.
Oh, it was a good course today, you know, bitumen was a nice change from the roughs of the hills, but today the Malaysian dude was just so strong. Going up the last KOM, he rode away from us, and you know, we didn't give him much of a gap, and he just held us the whole way. It was absolutely gutsy ride by him. It was well deserved, very well deserved.
Ashley had Ben Mather to thank for his podium win.
So the Malaysian guy had won, and we had 3 in the bunch chasing, and I was pretty wrecked, but Ben was really strong, but he'd already had a win, so he offered me the podium place. Very generous of him.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And old man Tinker Juarez was still in good spirits after a long race, finishing in 12th place.
Yeah, you know, the roads were about the best you could ask for in this kind of racing. You know, it was, you know, it was so smooth. I mean, there was, you know, the whole day I didn't get a sore ass. So that just kind of tells you that it was not, you know, the roads are in the best shape that you know, all 4 days.
Coming in 29th place was local hero Orlando da Costa.
Sing manas makas nomos aning makas ita persija halu grupo nebe mak diakse ita mesak araska difícil poteves.
Mel Jackson, the female stage winner, admitted that the race was challenging.
Like there were some parts, like right at the start, where we had to, you know, fight for a little bit of position and, you know, stay on. But it was pretty easy, so we were really, really happy. Like you're just sort of blessed to hang on for every kilometre. You felt really lucky. And then the KOM started and it all just blew apart, like we knew it would then. So from then on it was just Catherine and I up the hill, and it was like that until the finish. We just rode together the whole way and hurt ourselves a lot. It was just us pulling across the flats, and yeah, or mostly it was just me pulling across the flats. Catherine was doing, yeah, she was in the box a little bit more than I was, so.
Indonesian rider Sujianto Binjai reflects on the mood of the long stage.
Saya mencari tenaganya dengan cara mengumpat saja di rombongan. Tetap kerja tim, tetap, tapi tidak lama. Saya sudah mau kram kaki, tapi tetap bertahan terus. Di kilometer yang mana? Ya, dekat-dekat finish sudah mau kram. Cuman saya bertahan terus sampai finish.
Meanwhile, former President Jose Ramos Horta pays a visit and is greeted by local female rider Francelina Anche Cabral, who is very popular in these parts. As more and more riders complete the race, female elite rider Naomi Hansen is one who has had an interesting race on this day.
Oh, it's specific to the bike. And before I left Australia, I went to the bike shop and said, can you get me a spare hanger? Because I need to carry a spare hanger. Because I've had another race where I hit it on a rock and I bent it. And then when you straighten it up, you've got to be very careful that it doesn't snap. So the whole thing just snapped off. I was like, can I say that on TV?
Sure.
Yeah, I think I was on the side of the road for hours. It felt like hours. And then I had to time trial all the way home because these girls had gone past me. I was like, but it made it go quicker because I just had to smack myself all the way home.
One of the hardest working crews on the Tour de Timor are the bike mechanics. With over 400 riders to attend to, Lewis Kerr and his mates certainly have their work cut out for them.
Alright, this year being a longer race in terms of days, a longer race in terms of kilometres, and a larger race in terms of participants. It's been a lot harder on the mechanics. We've seen up to 60 bikes per day and have been getting an average of about 4 hours sleep a night since we left Dili 6 days ago. This year's a lot more taxing and a lot harder because the course is a lot tougher as well. Got a lot longer stages, roads are in a lot worse conditions, as well as having a lot more riders to look after and cater for.
It is also time for thought for Julia da Costa, as the Tour de Timor is a personal ambition fulfilled.
Ikut siklista atau Tour de Timor ini adalah kesukaan saya. Saya memang kakak saya tidak izin untuk saya mengikut siklista atau Tour de Timor ini, tetapi saya bilang kalau kita seorang jadi atlet, lupakan diri kita semua, lupa dari kematian, lupa dari darah atau jatuh, apa segalanya harus lupa. Jadi ini adalah kemauan saya sendiri. Apa boleh buat, saya harus tanggung jawab sendiri karena ini adalah kesukaan saya.
The prize ceremony celebrates the winners of the day and another stage is over. But the excitement is at its peak as they prepare for the final day of the Tour de Timor. The medical team has been inundated with injured riders, and mobile medical crew Peter Jones explains the cause for the number of casualties.
I haven't come across that many. Today was probably the most jobs that I've come across today. Probably because of the distance of today's leg, and also because we're into day 5, some riders are getting a little bit. They're going to be getting a little bit fatigued. Their concentration is not going to be as good as it is when they're fresh, and therefore when they're picking their lines through difficult terrain, they may get their line wrong and have an accident. Today was probably the biggest day as far as accidents. Even though today's riding was very good, it was almost bitumen all the way, compared with some of the other days where we've had some very hilly, rocky, rough terrain.
Another department that is in constant demand are the physios.
Look, I mean, this year's tour is so much tougher. I mean, I think that the extra 100 odd kilometres, people are really getting quite fatigued, and we're seeing a lot of postural injuries. We're also having a lot of riders fall off from fatigue as well. On our biggest night, we've had 130 people through the clinic, which is absolutely amazing. Clinically, the students would normally see about 4 to 6 patients a day, so they're seeing up to about 20 each. So it's an absolutely incredible experience for them.
Dinner time, and the mood is relaxed, but it is also a time for local girl Anche to reflect on the tour.
Corrida bicicleta montanha anesang importante liu hau no dar Timor-Leste tambay dene ia Timor sidau iha ema barak ne uluk mabe agora começa barak tang hau ne dene dia kliu ba Timor-Leste serseluk nebe karik sidau tuir depois siramos isirnebe iha hakarak atne desenvolve sirnia capacidade iha ciclista anesang ciclismo ne atne siramos anesang bele hatene ka competimos ba iha nasahona sang siraseluk tamba nasang siraseluk iha na anesang ciclista nebe profesional mai be ihane laiha antau idane anesang kapasmos ba ita nudar Timor-Leste atune bele nesang competimos atu hetang experiência rumah usi anesa ciclista siraselu ku sirai liur.
In the final episode of the Tour de Timor, Dili prepared for a rousing finish, the final struggle, and a national hero emerges.